Good morning, freedom marchers. Give y'all a minute to come up in here. You guys step up in here. Please hit the like button so the video can go out somewhat, even though we know it's not going to go out very much. How y'all doing, freedom marchers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bang. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. Today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2021. And yeah, it's cold as hell. Well, it's not that cold. It's 45 degrees here in Southern California. Ooh-wee. How y'all doing? I just wanted to come up here and talk about a certain space, not just in YouTube, but in the world in general, in society. There's a lot going on in the world today. We got all these, we got the virus cracking. We got the pandemic going on. We have injustices everywhere. We have the system of oppression pressing down on us more and more every day. Every day, they try to take a little bit more of our freedoms. And this is why I feel like this conversation is important. Because we need as many people in the fight as possible. Because it's going to be a fight. All right? It may not happen this month, may not happen next month, may not even happen this year. But at the end of the day, you want to prepare yourself as much as possible for that fight. And what is that fight going to look like? It's going to look like a lot of things. It's going to look like propaganda. It's going to look like division. Well, guess what? We're already in the fight. If you didn't know, we're already in the fight. But right now, we have time to gather our forces, gather our material, gather whatever we need to gather, get our logistics together for what will come. Because it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable. You cannot sustain this system for as long as they sustained it without going into a war, right? War is inevitable, right? War is inevitable. A physical revolution or a physical war, it must come. Now, what matters is, since we know it's coming, how many people are going to get involved in this fight? Well, I'm going to tell you, not the majority. Not the majority. It's not going to be the majority. It's going to be the tireless minority. They're the ones who are going to step up and say, you know what? Screw this. I'm getting tired of this shit. Let's take our freedoms back. Because they're getting out of control, right? These people are getting out of control. They're trying to introduce, I don't know if you guys know about this. They're trying to introduce more variants, okay? The MOFO variant, or no, the IHU variant. Then they got the Flurona. Like, come on, man. The Flurona for real. This is what we're doing. The Flurona. They are desperate to keep this pandemic going, y'all. They're desperate to keep this pandemic going. And guess what? we really have ourselves to blame for it, right? We have ourselves to blame for it because despite the fact that they haven't, this virus hasn't been as deadly as they would like us to believe, we still panic every time they tell us something about this virus. Oh, the Omicron is here and it's spreading like wildfire. So now every time you get a sniffle, every time you get a little headache or a little scratchy throat, you taking your asses down to get tested, right? You know, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't get tested, you won't have it, right? Because whatever course this thing takes is going to take its course, whether you get tested for it or not, and they're going to have to treat you anyway. I'm burying the lead here. It's time to come with the solutions, all right? And this is my issue with a lot of the B1 space, the Black First space. That's what B1 stands for. The B1 space is basically Black First. Now, I don't have an issue with that per se. I don't have an issue. If you're Black First because you're black, then hey, it's all good. I love it. If you like it, I love it. If you white and you put white people first, hey, that's on you. Beautiful. Good thing. Good for you. And see that's where you won't get me slipping. I don't hold that double standard. I'm not a hypocrite when it comes to that. If you want to put your people first, even though I do believe to a degree we're all one people, we're all the human race, but it doesn't have to be. We can recognize that we have differences, and if you gravitate more towards your people, then that is what it is. The thing is respecting other people, respecting other groups differences and spaces, and allowing them to live their life as they see fit, as long as they're not interfering with your life on a negative level. You know what I'm saying? We can interact, we can have fun, we can get along, but as soon as you turn your hate on and come at me with your hatred and manifest it in a physical way, economic way, that's when we have a problem. I don't have a problem with pro-black people. I don't have a problem with pro-white folks. Just, make sure you ain't fucking with other people. Anyway, my issue with the B1 space is, where are the real solutions? Where are the real solutions? Because there's a lot of education, right? There's a lot of knowledge in the B1 space. There's a lot of knowledge being spat. There's debates. There's all this educational shit going on about the Bible and the Hebrews and all this other stuff, the Moore's law, all this shit. There's a lot involved with that. There's a lot of that in the B1 space, right? Economic solutions, economics, right? Learning how to, save money, learning how to buy a house, what you should invest in. All those are great things, right? All those are great things. But at the end of the day, all right, and some people, depending on how far this video goes in the world, depending on who watches this video, some people might not want to hear this or think I'm coming down, but even that, economic education, right? Financial education. Financial education without economic independence is feeding the system, right? So let's say you show people how to invest. You invest in stocks and bonds. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Especially if you know how to navigate it and you're making money from it. But what happens when they decide to crash the system? What happens when they decide to crash the market? What happens when there's a pandemic and they want to do certain things, like they want to sell their stocks, or CEOs are stepping down by the dozen, right? Y'all remember that? No one really talks about that anymore. Back last year in 2020, not last year, the year before, 2020, when right before Biden or not Biden, Trump declared, or right around the time that Trump declared a state of emergency for the Modelo 19, all these CEOs stepped down, including Bill Gates, right? So just stepped down from their position. And then, you know, made a lot of money, but then, you know, a lot of shit crashed. But anyway, the point is this. Nothing wrong with investing, nothing wrong with educating people about their history, the Hebrews, the Egyptians, and all this shit. But what are we doing to provide solutions for when none of that shit is going to be relevant? What do I mean? There are a number of things that could happen that could send us back into the Stone Age. There are a lot of things that could happen that could shut down the grid, that could create an atmosphere where we have to be pit against the elements for survival, right? But we can't rely on the grid. We can't rely on the system. We can't rely on the government. We can't rely on any of that. You know what I'm saying? They done already took shop classes out of schools, right? A lot of schools, not all of them, but a lot of them. You know, you can't even, how many people, how many men in their 20s, and hell, even in their 30s know how to change a tire, change oil, change brakes? How many people know those things, right? You still have people, how many people know how to hunt? How many people know how to fish? How many people know how to grow food, right? Where are the black scholars in this space teaching people about that? Because when I see black folks involved in that, in general, involved in, you know, permaculture, involved in firearms training, involved in all that shit, they're not in the B1 space. They're not B1. They're black, but they're not B1. They're not B1. They're out there involving everybody in what they're doing, right? So for example, Billy from permacultures, right? Permapastures. I forgot. Permapastures. That channel I love so much. That's so educational in regards to being self-sustainable. You know, permaculture. That's what permaculture is about. Being self-sustainable. It's all encompassing. He's always putting out videos where he's educating people on how to do things like create a chicken tractor, or, you know, how to get animals to clear land, you know what I'm saying, naturally. How to build things that are going to help you on your farm. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. But he's not B1, right? He's not B1. But I don't see anybody in the B1 space doing that. I'm not saying that everybody in the B1 space has to do that, but where are the black folks that are concentrating and targeting black youth and trying to teach them these things, trying to show them this way of life, show them about survival, show them about how to hunt, you know, firearms training, fight training, and things like that. Where is that? Where are those people in that space? Because what I see a lot in the B1 space is I see a lot of education scholars, you know, teaching about law, teaching about history and all that other shit. And then you see a lot of beefing going on because this black scholar wants to be the best black scholar, and so he's, you know, people are putting him down and he's putting up, like, there's just a lot of beefing in that sector as well. And I'm just wondering, when are we going to change that around, right? Because I'm pro-black. I'm not anti-white, but I am pro-black. But at the same time, I allow anybody, not allow, but, you know, people can come into my come to my channel, they can, whatever color they are, I don't care, right? Because they're listening to the information I have to give, and they're very receptive. If you're a receptive individual and you're respectful, I don't have a problem with you. But when are we going to bring the real? When are we going to teach about survival? When are we going to teach about removing ourselves from the system? And that's the most important thing for me about this space. This is one thing that I believe should be the most important topic of discussion in the B1 space. And this is just my opinion, right? I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. But in my opinion, as far as what I see is the most important topic of discussion for B1, since we're always talking about oppression, we're always talking about systematic racism, we're always talking about how the system is coming after us, the justice system is broken, the justice system is unfair, all this other shit. We know these things are happening. We know that the system is oppressive. We know the system is against us. When are we going to talk about how we remove ourselves from the system? That's the most important thing. When are we going to come up with solutions to remove ourselves from the system? And I'm not talking about the sovereign citizen stuff where you go and fill out paperwork. First of all, when you become a sovereign citizen on paper, you're going through the very system you're trying to gain sovereignty from, and you're asking them for sovereignty, basically through this paperwork. They're having you jump through hoops to get this sovereignty cracking. I don't have to ask for permission to get my sovereignty. All I have to do is work toward it. All I have to do is take the certain steps. All I have to do is follow the roadmap that I built, that I create for myself. When I decide that I want to, when I become a sovereign citizen, which I will, and especially my children and my family and the people that are involved with what I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to, the government is not going to, I'm not going to get no ID that says I'm sovereign. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to alert the system to my desire to be free of it. I'm just going to set myself free of it by taking certain steps. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ask for permission to be sovereign. That you don't have to do that. You're a human being. You know, when I mean sovereign, I mean when I say I actually mean free, because sovereign means that you have control over a certain thing, unless you say self-sovereignty. When you have sovereignty over something, you have the superior position and the superior control over what you have sovereignty over. So no one else can have any power or say or control over what you have sovereignty of. So it's not necessarily freedom. What it is control or dominion. You have dominion over the thing that you have sovereignty of. So I have dominion over myself. I'm the only one in the world that has dominion over me. I'm the only one who can have sovereignty over me. There's legitimately, right? They take the sovereignty, you know, they exert their rulership over you, and people submit. And because most people submit, well, then you by default are under that control of that system. But it's not legitimate, and that's why there's always issues, right? Somebody once told me that if you have anarchy, right, or voluntarism going on, you know, anarchy where there's no rulers, basically that's what anarchy is. When you have anarchy, there's always somebody who is going to try to take control or become the leader, or not the leader, but the ruler. They're going to try. There's always going to be, because there's a lot of psychotic people in the world. There are a lot of sociopaths. There are a lot of narcissists who want to control other people. You're always going to have that. So that's how people try to dismiss anarchy like it's not going to work. Oh, the anarchy is not going to work because there's always going to be somebody who wants to control other people. Well, then if you see that, that's why you have to have the mind state. If we're living in a sovereign society where we're all now, anarchy doesn't mean no structure, no system, or that's not what that means, right? It just means that there's no supreme ruler or rulers over everyone that can dictate other people's lives, right? You live in a voluntary system where you participate willingly and voluntarily in the customs of that society. And really that's voluntarism. But anyway, just like there will always be people who will try to rise up and be the ruler if you have a sovereign society, when you have an authoritarian society, there will always be people that will try to rise up and gain freedom from them. You're not going to get rid of that. The reverse is also true. If you have somebody that's trying to rise up and be a dictator in an anarchistic system, the reverse is true. In a system where there's government, in a system where there's a ruler, in a system where there is a monarchy, you will always have people that will try to rise up and break free of that control. You're always going to have that resistance. You're not going to have the perfect society where where democracy is 100% going to work, where a monarchy is 100% going to work, or where anarchy is 100% going to work without any resistance or without any conflict. No. The key is when you recognize the spark. When there's a spark. The hell? When there's a spark of conflict, or when there's a spark of someone trying to resist the system you have to stamp it out when you recognize it, right? So let's say if you have an anarchistic system and you recognize, this guy is trying to be a boss. He's not trying to be a leader. He's trying to be a boss and dictate. You got to stamp that out immediately. Anyway. So the biggest thing for me about the B1 space is they know the system isn't working for them, but they're always, for a lot of them, they're always trying to work with the system or work within the system to get the things they want, right? To get freedom, they want to go through, we need to know the law. We need to go to court. And at the end of the day, if you are trying to gain freedom from this system, or you're trying to stop the oppression from a system, if there's an oppressive system you're trying to get away from, if you work with the system to stop oppression when that system is oppressing you, you're not going to get anywhere with that. You're not, right? You're just letting them know, and you're asking them, look, I want you to stop oppressing me, please. And they might they might throw you a bone every now and then, right? Like voter rights, you know what I'm saying? The Civil Rights Act, they'll throw you little bones in there, here and there. The 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, like, they will throw you a bone. They will. They will give you something to help you feel like you accomplished something. Like they gave in to some of your demands. They're going to do that. But that doesn't mean anything. All they're going to do is find another way to take their freedoms back from you. Or they'll give you a black president. Or they'll give you the first black president. Or they'll give you the first black female, Kamala. They'll give you the first black female vice president, who was president for about 2 hours when the president was getting an endoscopy or whatever the fuck. They'll throw you a bone because you came to them and you made a lot of noise. And they said, you know what? Here you go. Take that. Keep your mouth shut for a little bit. And when you start running your mouth again, I'll give you a little something else. But there's always a loophole. They'll always gain more on the back end, right? Like with Kamala, like Obama. They threw you a bone. You felt like you had a little freedom. You felt like you could do anything in the world because we had a black president. Oh, we can do anything. We have a black president now. Look what Obama did. He didn't do shit for your black ass, but he damn sure did some shit for the LMNOP. He damn sure did some shit for the Japanese in the Jays with the reparations. But he said he wasn't giving your black ass no reparations. Kamala said she wasn't giving your black ass no reparations. But here you go. Everybody was so excited. Not everybody, but a lot of black people, a lot of black women was so excited. Oh, look, we have the first black vice president. She's wearing Converse and all this other shit. Look how she turned out. She don't even do shit. Her staff is quitting every other day. These people, look, if you go through the system to end oppression, you're not going to end oppression. They don't want to give up their control. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give you no freedom. So why are we going? And this is my problem with the B1 space. We need to turn our backs on the system. And then when they come for us, we got to be ready to defend ourselves from the oppressive system. That's the best way you're going to do it. And there are certain steps and stages you got to take. Let me read a couple comments. What's up, Jimmy? Oh, yeah, I know. They banned Dr. Malone. Yep. I mean, who didn't see that coming? Lawrence Renault was good. Sage World says facts. We have to get busy with action. Exactly. Jay Woodham says, did you hear about them using sheep and goats to make the shape of a syringe to encourage people to get the shoulder tap? And the whole time they were talking about teaching herd immunity. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything is a joke to them. OFC, goats, sheep herd, Greek letter, virus, plague, disease, trying to all match in gematria with COVID. Yeah. They always got these little games they're playing. I mean, this shit is heavily orchestrated. What's up, Black Spring with Autumn? Jimmy Newton said 1 year already, and Joe is already a disaster. Inflation, shortages, gas prices, tax are a lot higher and more lives. Yeah, I mean they pull one over on us. I was good. Everything was good, Lawrence. I supposedly had I allegedly had the Modelo. I allegedly had Modelo 19. But you know, I didn't really. I allegedly had Modelo 19. I tested, you know, because I had for work. You know, I took that home test. I didn't go to no motherfucking testing site. So I took the home test and sent them a picture. But allegedly, I had the Modelo 19, and nothing really happened to me. You know, my kids got a little sick. My kids got sick a little bit. They're better now. My wife was feeling a little funky, but me, I was good, except for when I did notice when I worked out, my heart rate shot up faster than normal, and it stayed high longer than normal during rest periods. So, and I was a little bit more winded, but that shit went away. Like I exercised, I worked out yesterday, and everything was back to normal. So I'm good to go. But anyway, that's my thing with this B1 space, man. Like, we have to be ready to remove ourselves. We remove ourselves. We remove ourselves, become self-sustainable, and when they're like, wait, why is it? Where are all these people at? Why is no one coming to us for anything? Where's our tax money? Because you're self-sustainable, you don't have to go to work necessarily on paper, right? You don't have, you know what I'm saying? You find a way to earn, or you trade and barter with others in your community, right? A communal community, not like a a big ass, campsite community where everybody is, smoking peyote and all that. I'm talking about like there are some countries in the Netherlands where everybody is growing food, and there aren't any like streets, like paved streets where cars can drive down, and everybody is working together in what is called mechanical solidarity, and they trade and barter amongst each other. They have everything they need. They got water, they got food, they got good irrigation and plumbing systems, and they don't really need the government for anything. And the government encourages that in those countries, and it relieves the strain on the government's taxpayers. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about, right? But no, a lot of people are not ready to live that type of life because it's not going to be as perceptively comfortable as they are now. They think they're comfortable now. Oh shit! But they think it's uncomfortable now, right? But at some point, if you want real freedom, it's not always going to be comfortable. But at least you're free to live life as you see fit. Anyway, I got to get out of here, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hitting that like button. Fred Clobart says, "Oh, what's up, Xander? You had the Modelo? You felt pretty sick. My family did too." Jimmy said, "Good thing you recovered, and now you got that natural immunity." Goddamn right. From whatever they're saying this is, who knows? Who knows, man? Glad to hear that you. Yep, we're good. Jimmy Newton said, "My cousin was triple vax and still got tested positive. He's in the Army, and they're forced to get the third shot. Yeah, it's crazy." Then it said, I may have had the lab disease too. I don't take the test, but the amount of symptoms I had was crazy." Well, yeah, well, it is what it is. Like I took the test for work, but hopefully here in a few months, I ain't got to worry about shit like that no more. Jimmy Nunez, Jay with Open Eye says, "When you able to see where they're taking us, you understand you gonna be uncomfortable anyway from the shit they, yeah. So you might as well be uncomfortable on your terms." Fred Clobart says, "I know a family that is triple virus, and they got it right now for the second time." Triple virus? You mean triple vaxxed? All right, guys, gotta get out of here. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace. Oh, and if you're just coming in, you guys can go check out the replay. I got it in this live stream. Much love, like, share, subscribe. Do what you got to do. And yeah, I'll holler at y'all later.